Hey everyone, welcome back to Mindful Minute. I'm Gabby, and before we really get into today's episode and, before I share some more tips with you guys, I want to say that I have recently created an Instagram for this podcast. It is at mindfulminute_. This episode, we are currently on the 8th episode, and I figured, it would be a good idea. I've been thinking about it for a while, actually, to put up an Instagram and create an Instagram for this podcast. So check that out and make sure you guys give me a follow. Okay, so today is Monday and it's the start of a brand new week. And in a lot of my past episodes, I spoke to you all about why sometimes we tend to wake up a little bit more grumpy, and why we often feel like, I don't know, like we're not gonna have a good day or we're not gonna have a good week. And so this is just to say, this is to give you guys some motivation today and to help you get through the week, and just so you guys have something to guide you, especially starting off with a brand new week and a brand new month. I almost forgot that we're in March now. That's crazy to me. So I want to give you all some motivation today to help you get through your week. It's also some things that I know are definitely going to help me get through my week, especially because right now we're in the middle of midterms for me, and there's just a lot of other stuff going on and figuring everything out with school. So this morning, what I usually try to do, especially because Mondays I don't have class, it's nice every now and then to stay in bed a little bit longer and get some more sleep and just have a few more minutes just to relax. But I really have been trying to push myself to just get out of bed, make up my bed the minute I actually get out of bed, and just start falling back into that routine again. Because so often, especially in the middle of this pandemic, it's so easy for all of us to just push it to the side and just forget about it and ignore it. But I think it's really important for everybody to develop some sort of routine. And I know I say this all the time, but I think that having a routine can definitely help us all in some way or another. So this week, if you're working or you're going to school or you're doing both, what I suggest is to definitely try and find things to be grateful for. I was recently talking about this with one of my close friends, and we were just saying, sometimes we often, again, forget that there are things that we can be grateful for. And I think that although we can have a very stressful and a very busy week, and oftentimes those stressful and busy weeks are also productive, it is important to step back sometimes and say, what am I grateful for? And really think about it. In the last episode that I did, I discussed with you all the benefits of meditation. And in that one, I feel like I've been using Headspace again. I'll say that first. And this is, again, not to say that anybody has to use Headspace. You can use whatever you think is best for you. But I really prefer Headspace because, again, I feel like I have so much. I've been finding small things to look forward to. And that leads me to my next point. And I know this is kind of all over the place today with this podcast, but what I want to say is find something, whether it be in your week, to look forward to. You don't always have to go through the week just feeling stressed and feeling feeling down and beating yourself up over everything. And trust me, I would know, because I beat myself up over everything that I do. And I overthink every situation. I've kind of discussed this with you guys in a couple of episodes. But I think that if we have something to look forward to, at least in the middle of the week or by Friday, and even I think mostly towards the middle of the week, because, you know, if we're all working and we're at home still because of COVID and, you know, the pandemic, I think that having something at least in the middle of the week by Wednesday to be like, oh, I could do this thing to help, you know, boost my energy up and kind of give me some more positivity and some more motivation. So I've been trying to find small things to really plan out for myself to look forward to. And it's hard, right? Because so often I feel like, for me personally, I'll say that, you know, I tend to, again, forget about my routines, and I tend to kind of sweep it under the rug and just ignore it after I've, you know, said, okay, today I'm going to do this routine. And then the next day I end up skipping it. And then I go back to the routine the day after, or whatever the pattern may be. And I think for me, I've really been able to have the time to really think about my personal goals, whether it's long-term, short-term. And I think that those things have really helped me to understand that having a routine is so crucial, because I'll say this. The beginning of the pandemic, just like everybody else, I was very upset. I was very, annoyed by the fact that I couldn't spend time with my friends for spring break the way I had planned to. I couldn't, do anything. And it annoyed me to no end, because I was so happy going into school. And yes, I had my bad days, but who doesn't have their bad days, right? When you're going in all week and you're just working your butt off. It's it gets exhausting at some point. But even at school, I had things to look forward to. I had acting, I had, friends, and just activities that I could do. And so with that being said, I really felt like this pandemic, when it started, I was like, well, I can't do any of the things that I used to do, at least not for a while. And I didn't even know it was going to take a year for this whole thing to kind of, that it's still happening. So, because today's the 1st and it's been literally a year since COVID started. But then I realized, I was like, what can I do with my time? And this plays into your week too, what you can kind of set up for yourself. But I was like, what can I do to really make the best of this time that I have at home, where I'm with my family, where, everybody's doing good and staying safe. It's what can I do though for my mental health, and to make sure that I'm okay, and to make sure that, I'm still able to do the things that I love. And that's when I realized, one, my YouTube channel, I was able to be a lot more consistent. So when I say find things to look forward to in the middle of the week, if you know that there are hobbies that you really enjoy, if you know that there are things that, you've kind of been like, oh, I'll focus on it at some point, maybe now is the time to really start getting into those things again. And forming some sort of routine for yourself, because it can get really hard when you're just sitting in front of a computer screen 24/7 and literally just working away on Zoom all day, meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting, and you just feel like there's nothing else for you to do except for be on your phone. Which this pandemic, another thing it's really taught me is that I need time away from my phone. And I've always been the type of person to say that, but I think now more than anything, realizing that there's so many other things, and I prefer to actually be in the moment. So this is some of the motivation I really wanted to spread with you to you all today, because I feel like there's things that I have been learning, and as I kind of learn those things, I like to share those things with all of you, because I know that there are people out there who really can benefit from having a self-care routine, from talking about mental health, and from figuring out something that works for them. And it's hard, but I think that the more that we all kind of figure out what we need and really take that time to step away from our everyday thing that we do that may be very taxing, then we start to see like, oh, okay, this is that thing that I really always really wanted to work on, and now since I have the time and I'm home, I can actually do that. So if you're having a hard week and you feel like you're losing motivation, because trust me, by Wednesday I tend to start kind of not feeling like, all that into doing work and doing whatever. So plan something for yourself, whether it's in the middle of the day when you have your lunch break, whether it's you going out to take a walk. It's getting a little bit nicer out. It's been raining over here where I am. And so, but figuring out something that works for you, because another thing too that is important to mention is certain things that I do. You all may have your own thing that works for you, but I'm just here to give you all advice and to share my experience with you, and to just come along with you on your own journey and help you to really work on your journey. So figure out something for yourself that is therapeutic, and whatever that is, add that into your everyday routine. Whether it's your morning routine, whether it's, before you go to bed, whether it's throughout the day, that it's like small things that you like to do, figure out what those things are. And I think the more that you all find what works for you, you'll see how your week can be a little less tense and a little less stressful. So happy Monday, and happy first day of March. I'll see you all very soon in another episode of Mindful Minute. Hey, I also wanted to mention, if you want to see some other content that I've been working on and that I've been putting out, head on over to my YouTube channel. It's linked here to my podcast, and subscribe so that you don't miss out on my future videos.